Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
Reading on this phone is enjoyable every single moment, but holding it for long periods can feel like a challenge. That also raises an interesting question. What does it really mean to have a foldable smartphone that younger users can realistically afford? Today, we're taking a close look at the Huawei Pura X Max.
A quick shout to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from Tech Maiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
Huawei isn't presenting this device as a simple successor to the previous Pura X. Instead, the company describes it as an entirely new product, and after spending time with it, I can completely understand why. From the overall build quality and larger outer display, to the upgraded camera system, improved crease control, enhanced screen quality, and better software compatibility, this new wide-format foldable feels like a total reinvention. Honestly, if my budget allowed it, I'd seriously consider making this my main non-iPhone device. At the same time, all these improvements make the original Pura X feel outdated almost overnight, which might not sit well with existing owners. If you're thinking about buying the Pura X Max as your next daily driver, make sure to pay close attention to the drawbacks I'll mention later before making a final decision. Let's start with the design. Huawei has introduced 5 color choices this time: vibrant layer, olive gold, wilderness black, interstellar blue, and 0-degree white. Personally, interstellar blue and vibrant layer are my favorites. Both have a very futuristic look that really stands out. Unfortunately, the blue version sold out quickly, so I ended up getting the vibrant layer model instead. After using it, I have to say it looks fantastic in person. Looking at current sales, sometimes I wonder if I'm the only one worried about smartphone prices. People online constantly talk about how expensive phones have become, yet many versions of this device are selling out and remain difficult to find in stores. The rear panel is crafted from a single piece of glass, but underneath are 3 textured sections running in different directions. Because of this design, light reflects differently across each section, creating unique color shifts depending on the viewing angle. The transition from the back panel to the camera housing is also impressively smooth. The camera module features a horizontal capsule-shaped design. Huawei has added decorative rings around each lens, creating a layout where 3 rings sit within the black camera island. Personally, I think a completely black design would have looked cleaner. Another small detail is that the cameras aren't perfectly aligned on the same horizontal axis, which might bother perfectionists. Still, whether you're holding the phone or placing it on a desk, the overall appearance remains highly attractive. Moving on to the displays, Huawei has upgraded both the inner and outer displays, and compared to the previous Pura X, the improvements are massive. The first-generation X Max made the questionable decision of placing the external display and camera module on the same side. That design simply didn't work well. The outer display was only 3.5 inches and protected by aluminosilicate glass. Even Huawei seemed aware of its limitations, marketing it more as a smart companion display rather than a fully functional external display. In practical use, you often had to unfold the device completely just to perform basic tasks, which was far from convenient. This time, Huawei has moved the external display to the opposite side and expanded it to 5.5 inches, allowing it to occupy almost the entire back surface. Ignoring comfort for a moment and focusing purely on usability, the difference is huge. Whether you're taking photos outside, adjusting camera settings, focusing, zooming, or reviewing shots afterwards, the external display is now genuinely practical and comfortable to use. The external screen is protected by second-generation Kunlun glass, offering better resistance to slipping and drops compared to the previous generation. For most users, the important takeaway is that it feels more secure in everyday use. While Kunlun glass is known for its durability, a severe impact could still damage the flexible UTG display inside, potentially leading to screen leakage. The inner display has also grown significantly, now measuring 7.7 inches, an increase of about 1.5 inches over the original model. Many foldable phones released this year are using a form of liquid glass display technology. Manufacturers make the screen softer and increase the folding angle to reduce the visibility of the crease. The recently launched Oppo Find N6 follows a similar approach. The main advantage is a crease that becomes less noticeable and a softer touch experience when interacting with the display. Of course, there are trade-offs. Repair costs tend to be higher, the softer screen can create a slightly less stable visual feeling for some users, and impacts are more likely to cause liquid leakage. Even so, if I had to choose between a stronger screen and a less visible crease, I'd still pick the shallower crease. At this price level, user experience matters more. The unfolded display ratio works exceptionally well for watching videos, reading comics, and browsing novels. Photos captured in a 3:4 aspect ratio almost perfectly fill the screen, creating a much more immersive viewing experience. Even when rotating those images, they still appear larger than they would on a conventional smartphone. Display quality is another highlight. The color reproduction is surprisingly close to what you get from an iPhone Pro series device, which is rare. Many Android flagships still struggle to match Apple's color accuracy when showing the same image side by side, despite carrying premium flagship labels. Now let's talk about reading novels and comics. Huawei includes a dedicated ebook mode, which I actually consider one of the phone's weaknesses, which I'll explain later when discussing drawbacks. When unfolded, the inner display is roughly comparable to an A5 sheet of paper, or about the size of a folded A4 page. It's slightly smaller than a typical book, making it comfortable for reading. Huawei has also positioned the front-facing camera in a corner to minimize distractions while viewing content. Despite weighing 229 grams, the phone doesn't feel overly heavy during extended reading sessions. Whether you're going through novels or comics, it's comfortable enough to hold for long periods. But if my main goal was watching movies for hours, I'd still choose a tablet. The larger screen size and the superior visual characteristics of a traditional hard display simply provide a better entertainment experience. With the design and displays covered, let's move on to camera performance.
The Pura X Max comes equipped with a 50-megapixel main camera, a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto camera, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, paired with Huawei's second-generation Hongfeng imaging system. When it comes to Huawei's image quality, the brand has consistently delivered strong results. However, compared to the previous model's 40-megapixel ultra-wide macro camera, it's hard not to notice that this new device, priced around 10,000 yuan, has switched to a standard 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, which feels like a downgrade on paper. Now let's compare its camera performance against the iPhone 17 Pro. One thing Huawei continues to do very well is color tuning. The colors look attractive and vibrant while still maintaining a high level of accuracy. That said, the overall brightness and saturation are slightly boosted, creating a visual style that feels somewhat similar to the look of Japanese animated films. Even though the ultra-wide camera specifications don't appear particularly impressive, Huawei's image processing does a great job. The final results aren't far behind the iPhone at all, which honestly surprised me. The downside of this color tuning is that on cloudy days, photos don't really capture the natural mood of overcast weather. The images tend to look brighter and more cheerful than the actual scene. Moving on to video recording, there are a few limitations. The dedicated movie mode doesn't support 4K resolution, and the processing algorithms still have room for improvement. Another issue is that when ambient lighting is enabled, the overall sharpness of the footage drops noticeably. But for everyday recording, family videos, or casual content creation, the video performance is more than sufficient. Even without enabling advanced stabilization features, handheld footage remains impressively stable. That being said, if professional-level video production is your priority, iPhone still remains a very important option to consider. So far, we've talked about the Pura X Max's design, build quality, displays, crease control, and camera system. Looking at each category individually, what do you think? Personally, I believe every single aspect performs very well on its own. But now it's time to discuss the drawbacks. The first issue is the physical size and folding design. For most people, using it with one hand is difficult, and even two-handed operation can feel awkward.
Whether you're holding it vertically or horizontally, the grip never feels truly comfortable. And if a phone is uncomfortable to hold, it's difficult for most users to adopt it as their primary device. Of course, you could use it as a secondary device for watching videos, reading comics, or checking stock information, but then there's the problem of price. Spending more than 10,000 yuan on a secondary device isn't an easy decision for most people. And honestly, if you're already considering a backup device of this size, why not simply buy an iPad mini? Some people will argue that the iPad mini doesn't fold and takes up more space, but let's be realistic. If this is your secondary device, it's probably going into a bag anyway. Very few people are carrying a 10,000 yuan foldable in their pocket without concern. In fact, I sometimes think Huawei could have kept the same overall size, removed the folding mechanism entirely, and offered it at a lower price. You have to admit, the device itself looks quite refined, and the form factor actually works well as a compact entertainment device. If Huawei integrated more AI features and managed to reduce the price to around 2,000 yuan, it might recreate the kind of sales success we saw with the Huawei 90 Pro Max. At that point, it would truly appeal to younger consumers. Huawei says it's making foldable phones accessible to young people, but when I went to pick up the device in person, the people lining up were mostly older customers. So the question becomes, is Huawei overestimating the appeal of the product, or overestimating how much money young people are willing to spend? The second weakness is display brightness. While the screen quality itself looks great, outdoor visibility simply isn't strong enough. The footage you're seeing was recorded under cloudy conditions with no direct sunlight at all. Even in those circumstances, the brightness was only acceptable. Under normal sunny outdoor conditions, the screen becomes much harder to use comfortably. The third issue relates to gaming. If you're aiming this phone at younger users, gaming performance needs to meet their expectations. Instead of focusing on Huawei's marketing claims about the Kirin 9030 Pro processor, let's jump directly into a real-world test using Valorant. Using the default smooth graphics settings, the game doesn't even support 120 FPS. The highest available option is ultra-high, which actually means 60 FPS. During the very first match, before the device had any chance to heat up, I still noticed occasional frame drops while moving around. At times, the frame rate would sit around 70 FPS and then suddenly fall into the 40 FPS range. Personally, I believe this is more of a software optimization and compatibility issue than a pure hardware limitation. The fourth drawback is software compatibility in general, not just gaming. Earlier, I mentioned the dedicated ebook mode. The problem is that activating this mode turns the entire phone display into black and white rather than applying the effect only to reading applications. We've seen similar situations before with concept devices. Many manufacturers launch innovative products, but if sales don't meet expectations, software support gradually disappears. Xiaomi's compact foldable series is a good example. The idea was interesting, but long-term support never fully materialized because the market wasn't large enough to justify ongoing development costs. Fortunately, based on the sales performance of Huawei's latest foldable lineup, I don't think that situation is likely to happen here. So, what's the final verdict? If you're looking for a foldable phone to use as your primary device within the Harmony OS ecosystem, I would actually recommend the Mate X6 series instead. It offers a higher screen-to-body ratio, and through various sales channels, it's often available at a lower price. Another reason is that many of the drawbacks I discussed today will likely affect the resale value of this wide-format foldable. Just look at how much the original extended folding X series has dropped in price through retail channels. As for the second-hand market, whether it's worth buying really comes down to personal preference. If you're simply curious about the extended foldable concept and don't plan on using it as your primary phone, my suggestion is to wait a while and pick one up used. However, if you're already using something like a Mate 80 or Pura 90 as your primary Harmony OS device and want an additional foldable specifically for reading and entertainment, then the Pura X Max actually makes a lot of sense. It's more compact, has better crease performance, and offers a unique experience that many users will find emotionally satisfying. And that's it for today's review. I hope this video helped anyone considering the Pura X Max. What products would you like me to cover next? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.